Let me paint you a picture. You move into a quiet street. The neighbor seems nice. Maybe a little too nice. They wave every morning. They offer to watch your kid for 10 minutes while you bring in the groceries. You think, wow, I got lucky. A helpful neighbor. What you do not realize is that this is step one. Step one is always access. The neighbor starts small. A candy here. A cartoon there. Your child begins to associate this person with good feelings. And here is the thing about kids. Kids are simple. They go where the reward is. If you are the parent who says no to ice cream before dinner, and the neighbor is the one who says yes, guess who wins? The neighbor. Every single time. Now, most parents miss this because they are exhausted. You are working, cleaning, paying bills. You do not have the energy to compete with fun neighbor. So step 2 happens without you even noticing. Step 2 is consistency. The neighbor starts showing up every day at the same time. Maybe they are retired. Maybe they work from home. Either way, they are always there. Your child starts to expect them. They look out the window waiting. And you become the person who interrupts their happiness. This is where the guilt starts. You feel terrible. You think, am I jealous? Am I being mean? So you let it slide. You tell yourself it takes a village. But here is the problem. The village does not raise your child. You raise your child. A neighbor is not family. A neighbor is not a co-parent. But by now, the line is already blurry. Step 3 is replacement. This sounds dramatic, but watch how fast it happens. The neighbor starts buying your child shoes because yours were old. They start packing lunch because you were in a hurry. They start helping with homework because you were stuck in traffic. Every single one of these actions sounds helpful on its own. But together, they form a pattern. The pattern says, the neighbor is more reliable than you. And your child starts to believe it. I want you to really feel this for a second. Imagine your 5-year-old falls down and scrapes their knee. Who do they run to? You. Or the neighbor? If the answer makes your stomach drop, you are already in the danger zone. Now, let me introduce the real problem. The problem is not the neighbor. The problem is that you allowed this to become normal. And I am not saying that to blame you. I am saying it because most parents do not see the warning signs until it is too late. The neighbor never yelled. Never threatened. Never did anything illegal. They just loved your child. Publicly. Generously. And that made you look like the cold one. There is actual psychology behind this. It is called emotional displacement. It happens when a child transfers their attachment from the primary caregiver to someone else who is more available or more emotionally rewarding. Studies show that children as young as 3 can form secondary attachments in as little as 2 weeks if the new person provides constant positive reinforcement. 2 weeks. That is scary fast. And once that bond forms, breaking it is painful for everyone. If you try to set boundaries, the child cries. The neighbor acts hurt. And you look like the villain in your own story. So what do most parents do? Nothing. They stay quiet. They hope it gets better. And it never does. Let me tell you a story. A mother named Priya reached out to me with this exact situation. She had a 2-year-old son named Ayaan. Her neighbor, an older woman named Mrs. Kapoor, had no grandchildren of her own. At first, Mrs. Kapoor just waved from the balcony. Then she started calling Ayaan over for 5 minutes. Then an hour. Then entire afternoons. Priya was grateful because she worked from home and needed the quiet. But one day, Priya finished work early and went to get Ayaan. He was sitting on Mrs. Kapoor's lap, watching TV. Priya said, "Come on, baby, let's go home." Ayaan looked at her, buried his face in Mrs. Kapoor's chest, and said, "No, I want to stay with Grandma." That word, Grandma, it hit Priya like a slap. Mrs. Kapoor was not his grandma. She was a neighbor. But in Ayaan's mind, she had become family. And the worst part? Mrs. Kapoor smiled and said, "He is fine here. You can go back to work." Priya felt like a stranger in her own child's life. Now, watch what happened next. Priya tried to limit visits. She started saying no more than twice a week. Mrs. Kapoor did not argue. She simply started leaving small gifts at the door. A toy car, a chocolate, a balloon. Every single day. Ayaan would find them in the morning and beg to go thank her. Priya could not win. Every time she pulled back, Mrs. Kapoor pulled harder with kindness. Kindness is a weapon when it is used to erase a parent. This went on for 6 months. Priya stopped going to family gatherings because Ayaan would cry the whole time asking for Mrs. Kapoor. She stopped taking him to the park because he would run toward the neighbor's house instead. She felt like she was losing her mind. And the worst part? Everyone around her said she was overreacting. Her own mother said, "At least someone loves your child." Can you believe that? Imagine hearing that from your own mom. But here is the turning point. The climax of this story happened on Ayaan's 3rd birthday. Priya planned a small party at home. Cake, balloons, the whole thing. She invited Mrs. Kapoor because she felt pressured. The moment Mrs. Kapoor walked in, Ayaan screamed her name and ran to her. He refused to cut the cake with Priya. He wanted Mrs. Kapoor to hold his hand. Priya stood there, 3 feet away from her own son on his birthday, holding the knife alone. She smiled for the photos. But inside, something broke. That night, after everyone left, Priya sat on the bathroom floor and cried. She realized she had 2 choices. Keep letting this happen and slowly disappear from her own child's life, or do something that felt terrifying. She chose the terrifying thing. The next morning, she went to Mrs. Kapoor's house. She did not yell. She did not accuse. She simply said, "Starting today, Ayaan will not be coming over anymore. I need to rebuild my bond with my son." Mrs. Kapoor's face changed. The sweet grandma mask slipped for just a second. She said, "But he loves me." And Priya said, "That is exactly the problem." Then Priya did something smart. She did not cut contact completely. She knew that would traumatize Ayaan. Instead, she slowly reduced visits over 4 weeks. Week 1, 30 minutes every other day. Week 2, 15 minutes. Week 3, 10 minutes. Week 4, goodbye. She replaced that time with new routines. Every morning, she took Ayaan to the park before work. Every evening, she cooked his favorite meal while he sat on the counter and helped. Every night, she read 2 extra bedtime stories. It was hard. Ayaan cried. He asked for Mrs. Kapoor constantly. For 10 days, Priya felt like the worst mother in the world. But on day 11, something shifted. Ayaan reached for her hand first. He said, "Mama, I love you." Not because she asked, because she had earned it back. Today, Ayaan is 6 years old. He waves at Mrs. Kapoor from a distance. He is polite, but he does not run to her. He runs to Priya. And Mrs. Kapoor. She moved on to another family on the street. Because here is the ugly truth people do not tell you. Some neighbors do not love your child. They love feeling needed. And when you take that away, they find someone else. Climax a key moment. The key moment in this entire story is not the confrontation. It is the decision. Priya decided that her fear of being mean was less important than her role as a mother. And that is what separates parents who lose their kids emotionally from parents who keep them close. You have to be willing to look like the bad guy. You have to be willing to let your child cry. You have to be willing to say no when every bone in your body wants to keep the peace. Because silence is not kindness. Silence is surrender. Conclusion or summary. So here is what you take away from this. 1. Emotional displacement is real and it happens faster than you think. 2. A neighbor who constantly inserts themselves into your child's life is not being helpful. They are being strategic, even if they do not realize it themselves. 3. You are not crazy for feeling uncomfortable. And 4. Fixing this requires slow, painful, consistent boundaries. There is no quick fix. But there is a way back. If you are living this nightmare right now, start tomorrow. Do not wait for a birthday or a holiday. Start with one small boundary. Say no to one visit. Replace it with 10 minutes of your full attention. No phone. No TV. Just you and your child. Do that for 1 week and watch what happens.